having to ask me certain questions. So I'm going to dive straight to the 8 steps, and I have listed the 8 steps over here. Sorry, I had to turn off my fan. So I've listed the 8 steps over here, and the steps includes you need to describe the challenge. What challenge are you going through? We're going to see through the slides. Introduce the team and your role, people you worked with, talk about the research, describe the target group's pain points, showcase the product's features or ideas, validation and prototyping, impress. Definitely you'd have to impress us at the end with your final design. It will be bad if you have like a very good case study and at the end your design is really bad. So at the end you sum up the results and learning. So every project at all that I do, I always learn a thing or two, and I also would take that idea and what I've learned from this product and put it into the next product I'm going to kind of work on. So first off, let's talk about describe the challenge. I know many persons want to see the practicals than the theory. I hate theories, so but I still have to do this. So one, you need describe the challenge. The narrative starts with you're aware of once upon a time. So it's more or less a way you tell a story. So you need to introduce yourself by saying, I joined this. This is not a template for you to use exactly. So find your own uniqueness. Okay, so but this is just more like a guide to help you. I heard someone said she's trying to work on her portfolio, so it's more like a guide that will give you an idea to what you can do to make yours better. So yours can obviously be better than what I'll be presenting in this presentation. So you have to start it with, I joined this project and determined the biggest challenge we faced as, or I was working on this product and it turned out that most of our users were frustrated by XYZ. Simply state the circumstances and the business risks or consumer pain points you encountered. So these are more or less the challenges you're going to face in every product. Now, every one of us designers, no matter your experience, we still face issues during the course of a product. So there are times that you feel like you even understood the client's brief, but you didn't actually understand it. And then when you share like iterations and some samples that you've crafted, the client tells you, oh, we have to create some other ideas. And most times we end up seeing just the beauty out there. So if you go to my portfolio, you see beautiful designs, aesthetically pleasing, but you don't get to see like the challenges. And this is something, while I was studying, I felt like I should say it. You need to include those things into your portfolio whenever you want, because your portfolio is not majorly for freelance jobs, but it's mainly for some major roles that you'd want to fill up in the future. So you need to let them know. They'll really be glad to know that you face some challenges at the beginning of a project. That's if you face, don't fake it. So if you faced anyone, include it in your case study. And this is a way of preparing you for the final portfolio creation. So describe the challenges, introduce the team and your role. So you need to tell them, okay, their projects. I actually I'm an advocate for collaboration. So if you are opportune to collaborate on a project with someone, don't feel like the person is taking your shine. Yeah, the person won't take your shine. Yeah, even on Behance, it supports collaboration. So you can upload a project as a collaboration. So in this particular process, you have to list out people you worked on the project, whether it's on your portfolio website or on Behance, on Twitter or any platform at all. Always list them out. Then also state your role. So it's a product design. You probably didn't do the UX design. Someone else did it. So you can write the person's name. If you can't tag the person, You can write the person's name. Oh, UX design by Davio White, this one by Pexes. So whichever role you fill in, always introduce the team, introduce the heroes now that we are aware of the circumstances. So we are aware of the circumstances. So describe your team structure, who was involved, what they worked on, and your precise position within that project. Don't just post a project and say product design by me. No, you need to tell us what were the actual roles that you played in that particular product design. So you can say, okay, I was a UX writer or the technical writer, I was the UI designer, I was this, I was that, I was the animator. So all of this should be spelled out. It gives a professional, because most of these people you'll be talking to that are employers actually have some experience in design. Trust me, I've been opportune to hire some persons for a company I work for. I was put in front to oversee their collect their CVs and also choose the right candidate at the end, because I had the experience and not because of some other issues or criterias, but because I felt like I had the experience. So most of these people you'll be talking to are experienced people. So you need to spell out these things to them. It will make them understand that this person knows exactly what he's doing, because it's not all about having a portfolio, but the story that you tell with your portfolio really matters a lot. Thirdly, I am stating, talk about your research. So I've decided to show you some little visuals because I'm going to do more in the live section. So talk about your research, share your design process after we get to know the team. So we've gotten to know the team. So share your design process. So a lot of persons like to talk about the personnels, user interviews, a lot of other things. You just show all of those things. Some even show as much as the user flow. You can do that. It's very important, because the users at the end would want to know, how does this work? Even the owner, sometimes you're done with the project and then the owner doesn't even know how to navigate through the project. So you need to show him a user flow. You need to show some empathy map, some other things, customer journeys, and quite a lot of things before you start diving straight into just showing visuals. So you need to share your process after we've gotten to know your team. Explain the procedure in details. So don't just post things. Don't just post like screens. You're just showing different screens. Explain it. Yeah, be detailed. If you can, a lot of designers, myself, for example, I don't like to write. So if I must write, I have like copywriters I work with. So I've even made some of them my friends. So instead of paying them $1 million, I could pay like 100,000. That's what I mean by friends. Yeah. So I've made some of them my friend. You can make them your friend and pay them, please. Don't take advantage of the friendship. So you can pay copywriters to help you draft out these things, explain the idea to them, and you're just talking, they're getting it on paper and giving you soft copy write-ups that you can use for this presentation, because you don't want your design looking just being just JPEGs. Yeah, you want to explain more, and that's why I said at the beginning, you need to let anyone that looks at it understand what you've done without them having to ask you certain questions. How did you do this? Why is this way? It's just clear. It's very clear, and explain in simple terms so that people can actually understand. In as much as you want to be professional and use big words, still explain it in a very simple term so that a layman can actually understand. Typically, it begins with research. So obviously, every project starts with research, because you're not the owner, you're not the idea creator. So you have to make research. So don't be scared to tell people that you make research. And some of these ways that you can make research is by going to look at existing products. Yeah, at some point it's going to influence your direction, but that's why I tell people, don't just look at one, look at multiple. You can collect 3 or more and say, okay, find out who their competitors are, and their competitors must be doing something really well for them to actually list them as their competitor. I was working on a product and I asked this question, and they listed 5 competitors. And I actually went into those 5 to discover certain things. And I also discovered the marketing part of it, like their marketing strategies, so many other things I discovered while doing my research. So research is very, very important. It cannot be overemphasized. Don't be ashamed to tell people you do research, okay? Such as user interviews, you can create, you see links flying up and down in groups. People are telling you, fill this, help me write, help me fill up this survey, help me do this. People are trying to get out things out of these things, informations out of these processes. So you need to conduct those type of research, interviews rather. We have competitive analysis, personnels, where people have to talk about certain things, bothering them about a particular product. You also get like their profile and all of that. So tasks to be completed, customer journeys, or anything else you can think of. Include some photographs, describe the outcomes, and provide justification for each strategy you use. 4, describe the target group's pain points. So discuss what you know about the users and target audience. So continue by summarizing the key problems the customer had when you provide solutions for these challenges. It aids in comprehending the context and gets the next section ready. So there are some people want to actually target just millennials. Some want to target just Gen Zs. I had to include the owner, because most times when we design mainly for these people, leaving out the owner. So you need to understand that the owner needs to also be able to use his products effectively, because they're actually going to be one of the first persons to use the application. So you need to factor them into the target audience. If they are leaving themselves out, you need to give them reasons why they should be part of this process. So it's very important. Some people like to target just the Gen Z. I know of some applications that are majorly for Gen Z. So they feel like this app is not for old people. Those people cannot use it. So you need to understand all of this and also describe it in the journey. Showcase features or product ideas. So I also did like a dummy design today. So I did this design today to show you something, and I'll be using this for the portfolio design. So showcase features or products or product ideas. Share your suggestions for resolving these issues. Now that we are aware of your users' problems, the original, which is a high-level product or future ideas that you or your team came up with, should be discussed. For instance, you discovered that dog owners couldn't leave their canines unattended while they were away. As a result, you considered creating a marketplace for dog sitters or a search engine for holiday spots that allow dogs. So you're not sure yet which solution would be the most effective. Write about these concepts, or perhaps include early sketches. They don't need to be overly attractive. So mine is attractive, you agree with me, because I had to go all out. But yeah, if you have like a drawing tablet, you could just sketch anything. We know the symbols and shapes that are used for these things. You can use the square tool. You can use the square tool for images, for icons, pretty much everything. Yeah, so depending on the sizes, it also goes in sizes. So you can use that to represent all of the places you want all of these informations to be there. You could just draw lines. It's anything you want to do, as long as you understand exactly what you've sketched out. Anything can work. So just be original. Yeah, don't feel like, oh, this guy's portfolio is super mad, I must do exactly. Just be original. Find your you. The next one, validation and prototyping. The exciting part will now begin when you choose a course of action. Now you've gone through all of your sketches, and I'm also going to bring in branding because I know that there's some persons on that branding that also registered. So you've done quite a lot of things, and you need to select a direction. Yeah. I know for branding, most times you select multiple icons or logos, but in product design, you need to analyze all your sketches and layouts that you've done, because most times the sketches are just you testing out layouts. For instance, you're doing like an e-commerce card that's going to contain a product. You're trying to test different methods. I know there's a new method now. I think it's been there for a while now, where you can actually click on it on an icon, and it changes things from grid format to list in e-commerce platform. So if you don't know that, that is out there. So you can also try to like familiarize yourself with it, and probably just do some test running on your own on some personal projects. Yeah, so list the various techniques, including fake door tests, landing sites, easy prototypes, and user testing. Readers should be able to observe how you tested several concepts and your final decision-making process. Once you've come up with the best product or feature idea, describe how you created the initial prototype. Yeah, how did you refine it after user testing to make it more user-friendly? Yeah, so whatever you're doing, make it user-friendly. I forgot to make that bold. Yeah, so you have to make it very user-friendly, because this product will not be used by only designers, because for us, we can easily just decode and understand what you've done, but it's going to be used by people that are not designers also. So you need to make it very much user-friendly and very much functional. So if I'm clicking on this button, I forgot to animate this. So if I click on it, instead of it taking me back, it's taking me to the next screen. So I forgot to prototype it. So if I click, it's taking me to 7 instead of 5. You understand? So you need to watch out for those things so that you pretty much don't get yourself in a fix. So this is the high fidelity design of the sketch I showed you earlier on. So I will take it to the sketch, and then this is the sketch, and this is the final design. This is where you now start showing your Odoguism. I call it Odoguism. So you can add ISM to Odogu, and you get that. So it's a time for you to now show that you're badass at what you're doing. And the people at this point, by the time they're already blown out by your presentation, your case studies, they're now at the point where they start saying, wow, 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 this is beautiful, because they've understood pretty much the direction before you ended up getting this result. So now show off, and that's why it's stated show off. Show off the sleek UI design of your work. Use a fancy gallery section, or mention your excellent style guide or user interface kit. Describe how the brand was strengthened by your choice of colors and typefaces. Yeah, use large photos and mockups to make your work appear authentic. So if you see what I've done, it's big enough. I don't know if you're using your laptop, or if you're using your laptop to view this, it's big enough for everyone to be able to see it. So let me just take a quick view that people are hearing me. I'm not hearing from you. The audio is loud and clear from this end. I just had to check. Yeah, so how does this apply to fresh product designers who have not? Okay, I'll come to your questions. I have those answers waiting for you. So thank you very much. We can hear you. Thank you very much. What's your name? Makinde Bayowa. Thank you very much. I hope I pronounced your name very well. So we'll go. I still have like 3 more slides. So we'll go to number 8. Sum up the results and learnings. So this is where you also you can let the client know that you learned something from the product design. This is where most employers, especially foreign employers, are more interested in. Based on my experience so far, they are more interested in this part. So what have you learned? What were the results from this product. So some people don't even do their case studies until the product launches. Some people go ahead to rush and do their, I would tell you, I'll beg you, please wait until the product launches before you do your case study. And some persons take like a month or two after the product has launched to do their case study, so that they can factor in this very important part, some of the results. So these results can be the live iterations of the app or the website. So what has it done? From 100 visitors a week to 10,000 visitors a week. So how was that achieved? Because of the products that you designed. You can show, at this point, you can show screens. You can show screens of their previous problems, because they came to you to solve their problem. So you can show a screen of their old problem, giving a small write-up by the side or beneath it, saying as at so time in so year, let's say Jumia was running at 200 views or visitors per week. But after my product design, you show your own product and show the dashboard of, you can tell them to send you a screenshot of the dashboard, so you can, they'll be very kind enough to send it to you, and then you can put it out there and close out your portfolio, your case study. This is case study. So finally, present some findings, include any data that demonstrates the success of your efforts. The success of your efforts. If you're writing, just underline that, such as customer or industry leader quotes and product analytics. At the conclusion, it's nice. It is nice to summarize your individual learnings. So if you had like a team, you can summarize everybody's own. But if it was just you, right now I work alone, except I'm mostly working on a large project, so I'll include some persons to it. So if I'm working on a smaller project, I would just include only the copywriter or the UX writer, and I would flow with it. So you need to include what you guys have learned or what you've learned from the project. And you can also get out reviews. This is a part where you can get out reviews from the clients. There are clients that you work with, you had issues with, you might not be able to get reviews. They just want you to do the job and get out of their face or their DMs. So, but there are clients that you worked closely with. Like for me, I like to carry my clients along, or the brands I work for along. So from every milestone, I set milestones for myself. Once I hit a certain milestone, I reach out to them and bring them into Figma and show them like, okay, this is what I've done so far. I explain what I've done. I try to even do more than what they've told me to do. I actually do that sometimes. So I feel like, okay, if their idea is good and it needs some little rishi to make it better, I'll just add that, and then I'll bring them in and discuss it with them. And if they like the idea, I'll retain it. If they don't, I'll take it off. So very easy. So present some findings, data, product analytics, individual learning. So I've broken it down into 4, and I've laid more emphasis with color and hierarchy in the one that has to do with data. So it's very important that you get out these data and use them for your own advantage, and it's going to be mind-blowing. So I have pretty much some FAQs. These are FAQs in the next slide that I'm going to read out to you. But I know some persons might have this particular question to ask: how many projects do I have to include in my portfolio? So most times we want to show that we're badass. We've worked on so many projects. You've worked on 100 projects, and you want to include all of them in your portfolio. I'll tell you to stop. Now, when I'm talking about portfolio, I'm talking about the links you're going to send to the employers. Yeah, so you don't need to include all of these plenty things, yeah, because the one they might look at first might be the one that will put them off. Yeah, so look for 3 is a perfect number. Yeah, it's okay, I've seen first one, I've seen second one. I can't judge from these 2. I can give this one a thumbs up and this one a thumbs down, but I need a second one to carry the vote. So in case Mr. John votes for this one, and Mrs. Ada votes for this one, who wins at the end? So 3 is a very good number, but 5 maximum. I had to make research on this. So maximum, don't include more than 5 in your portfolio. If you have a website, don't include more than 5 on your website. If you have a Behance account, you can include everything. Yeah, but when you're sending links out, just categorize them into 3 to 5 links and attach it to your application or whatever you'll be using as a form of communication to send it across. So don't do more than 5. I would advise you to send out just 3, because nobody has much time to be looking at more than 3 case studies in your portfolio if you've done a good job. Yeah, so not less than 3. So then so they see you are more than a one-hit wonder. Not more than 5, so they will see just your best work. So only your best work. If you have 5 designs so far and your best work is 3, include just those 3. Don't include the 5 of them. Prioritizing and curating are your duties. So you can even go over it with friends. You can go over it with your mentors or people that you feel like are higher than you in the journey, and say, okay, please, can you take a look at, and also respect their time too. So please, can you look at this at your free time? Don't tell them, please, can you look at this now? Some of them will pick offense. I'm telling you. So tell them, you can use this word, please, can you look at this at your free time? I'm about applying for a role tomorrow, or I'm applying for a role later today, and I'm sure someone with a good heart will be able to look at it. So don't just send it to one person. You can send it to multiple people, and definitely you'll get out reviews that would help you pick the best. Only your best in your portfolio should be present. Don't worry about leaving out your worst projects. They will judge you by it. Trust me, they will. Show them. So if you want to apply for, if you have like a drive in fintech products, show them only fintech products. Yeah, don't go and start showing them Web3 or showing them, let's say, an agricultural product. So if you're applying for a company like let's say, for instance, Microsoft, you can show them things relating to that in your portfolio, or you show them things that you have an interest in. Not everyone can do every job. There are many product designers that can't work as Web3 designers, so it's quite different. So you need to always have a niche for yourself. Show them the design systems you have built in the past if you want to be in a position to build one. So if you feel like, oh, there are jobs I when I'm talking to the clients, like people reach out to me, they want to do this, and then I try to pitch an idea. I do that often. So I try to pitch an idea. I'll tell you, okay, after this, you definitely would need this. I've pitched the idea to them, and it's something I can do, or it's something I have a team that can do, especially when it comes to development. So because I have a team that work on projects that I've been working on, so I would pitch it to the client. Oh, after designing this product, I have like a team that will do a good job, and I enjoy working with them. That way, they can, as long as you deliver the project very well and timely, they'll want to work with you till the end. So you can do that and position yourself in a better way to get out more. So I have some questions at this point. Is like FAQs. So product design portfolio FAQs. What is a product design portfolio? So it's a portfolio that reviews the full range of your skills and methodology. So that's just like your method of design, your own method, because everybody has their own method. So through your work presented in the form of case studies, what does a product designer do? The responsibilities of a product designer. I know this has caused a lot of uproars. People don't understand what product design is, and UI and UX. So the responsibilities of a product designer encompasses the entire product creation process. This includes market research, finding a product idea, understanding user problems, providing solutions, and testing those solutions. So a UI designer will only just provide solutions. but a product designer would go as much as doing market research, a whole lot of things. Trust me, there's a whole lot of things, including aftermath. So when I say aftermath, I'm talking about when the product is even live. Some people even have that joy seeing the product do better. So they are more interested in proper, I'll put it at like this, they are more interested in proper solutions than just inning. So most people just want to in and just walk away, but product designers want to in. Yeah, I'm seeing questions. So yeah, so they want, UI designers just want to in, whether you like it or not. If you're a UI designer on the call, I'm so sorry, but we just want to in. But product designers like do more. In the company where I work for, Achiever, I do a lot more. I do a lot more. I The other day I was talking to a group of friends and I was like, right now I can call myself a product designer because I'm doing more than what I should, and that is what a product designer does. So what to include in a product design portfolio? Your product design portfolio should include a short biography about you, your resume, contacts, social media links, but most importantly, 3 to 5 case studies that showcase the full scope of your skills. At this point, I'm going to open the floor for questions before I dive straight into the.
Hi, Davio. Good evening. Hello, can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes. My name is Donald, and I'll be handling like the Q&A section so that I can flow easily
All right, that's
onto
fine.
everything further. Okay. Good evening, guys. My name is Donald. Um, I'll be handling the Q&A section, like I just said. Um, First of all, I just want to give like a really, really big thanks to Davio because he like came on here to share valuable information to us. And personally I learned a lot. And I think you guys will agree with me too. Everyone here must have learned one thing or the other. Even maybe you know some of these things he's saying, but I know for sure that some gems he dropped. So he dropped a lot of gems, and I'm sure everybody has learned something. So if you want to ask questions, can you please, so it is in like an orderly manner, can you please just raise your hand? Then I will go through the questions. But first of all, we have some questions from the website. So I'll try to read out one or two before we pick from the comment section.
All right.
So starting off, the first question here is what did your resume? I don't know. This is like off topic, but okay. Let me go with the one with within our topic. As a designer,
I think
does
you
my
can ask. Yeah, okay, go
can
ahead.
you hear me?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. So the question goes: as a designer, does my design portfolio contain my CV in brackets info about myself, or it has to be two separate files? So I don't know. Maybe you
Okay.
answer that by ask the question.
Yeah. So that's even in the FAQ. The third one says what to include in a product design portfolio. So it has to include your short bio, your resume, contacts, and then your case studies. So it has to include everything in one. Don't separate them.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. Also, can you show the jobs you did for? This is another question. Can you show the jobs you
Yeah.
did for a company as your portfolio? And also, how do I get my projects for my portfolio, especially when there is like an NDA, so like a non-disclosure agreement? So it's like a two-sided question. Yes.
Uh yeah. So the first one is I
Can
think
you
I'm going to
show
take the
your
last one.
jobs?
Yeah, let me take the last. The
Okay.
last
Okay.
one is yeah. So you can't show an NDA. I have quite some. I would use the word some NDA projects that I've worked on. You can never show it. Let me just put it like that. Don't ever show it except the client launches and then you go back to them and say, oh, can I now show this in my portfolio? You can only show it on their permission. So don't hide and go and post it. As long as they put it out in text or any format to you, and they know what they are doing. So don't do that. Then the first one was projects that you have done for like clients. I think like freelance projects, right?
Yes, yes. Or companies, maybe they
Yes.
had like a contract role, or maybe you're a freelancer, so it's like
Okay.
so
Yeah, sure. You can include that in your case study. As okay, so the only product or project you cannot include in your case study are projects that have NDAs. And if you're wondering what NDAs are, they are non-disclosure agreements. So some persons want to believe and trust you that they don't have to send a document for you to sign to keep that agreement. So always respect it. Whether I have some that are just word of mouth, and I don't share it. So that is the only project or product that you shouldn't include in your case study. But any other one, as long as you were not told, please don't share this, don't.
okay. All right. Thank you very much. I think I should pick the question or the person to come up and ask a question from the comment section. So I see only one hand raised. So Isaac Oluwarotimi, can you unmute your mic and go ahead and ask your question? Thank you.
Okay. Hey, good evening, everybody. I'm Isaac Oluwarotimi. I hope you can hear me. Okay, so
Yes,
my
Yeah,
question.
madam.
Okay. My question is so in this design portfolio now, does it have to be do you have to have a website for your design portfolio? Or you're talking about Behance and stuff like that? Because I think it was last week. I had a mentorship session with somebody, and she was like, with a product design, she's been in the field for a very long time. I think like about 15 years. So she was like that I should get the if it's a website portfolio or something like that to present my work and stuff like that. That Behance at times is not really, as there might be some works that are not really okay. They're not really standard, and for the recruiter to check everything out. So it's just better if I can just get a kind of portfolio website and something like that. So that's part of the question. I wanted to ask, okay, for portfolio, do you need to have a like website? And secondly, also, um, for the portfolio, does it have to all the things have to really be a case studies? You get what I'm saying? Like, or can you include UI designs, like just screens, like just UI designs, or necessarily it has to be like case studies, like, you get what I'm saying? Or it has to be case
yeah,
study
I
major.
understand.
So
I
I think
understand.
the third question too is, okay, so on your resume, okay, you said on portfolio you have to have a short bio, your resume and your contact. So okay, definitely I think it has to be because I don't think you can have all this on Behance portfolio website. I don't think so. So that's majorly my question. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. So the first one had to do with portfolio. If you need like a portfolio website to be able to apply for jobs, the answer is simple: no. At the moment, I don't have like a portfolio website. So what I use at the moment is my Behance. So I use my Behance to, even though I'm not applying for jobs at the moment. So any project that I'm doing, I always send like a Behance link. I have like a Behance link. I can collate um, these links together and send it to the client. So you actually don't need that. You can always do that presentation in Behance. I was looking out for some free platforms that you can use to actually create those portfolio websites, and I found some of them. You can use WordPress if you know a thing or two about coding. You can use Webflow. These are all drag and drop platforms. You can use Wiz. I know some persons know about Wiz. You can use Adobe Portfolio. There's another one, Flickr. FLICK and R, and then finally you can use Pixpa. So Pixpa is spelled PIXPA. So these are platforms that you can use to create like a free online portfolio website. Yeah, so some of them you have to like get a domain. Yeah, so I know WordPress is more affordable. So in case you want to go all out, you want to do more, and which is what I'll be doing in this presentation. So that is it for that. I think the second question, I didn't pretty much get the second question. I think I've answered it. I don't know. Have I answered your second question?
I think the second question was what was the second question again, sir? I think it was okay. Okay, the second question was can you include UI designs like those screens? Does it have to be case studies? Like, yeah, that was my question.
Yeah. All right. So and like I mentioned earlier on, if you want to land any design role in a reputable company, most companies some companies in Nigeria will just hire you from looking at just visuals. But if you want to land a very good product design or UI design role, then you would need to include the case studies. It's very important. In fact, as a UI designer, you should learn how to create case studies. So that once you're doing your portfolio, it will be more easier for you to be able to you even have that confidence to bid for to send it for jobs or to apply for jobs because you know you've done like a good job. So it's very necessary, not compulsory, but it's necessary you have like a case study. When people talk about case study, they're actually scared. People are actually scared when they talk about case study, but honestly it's quite easy once you understand like the roadmap and flow for it. It would be very easy for you. So you probably need to learn about case study, proper case study, so that you know from this step to this step, from this step to this step, and then before you start showing visuals. That's like the final thing you do in a case study.
I'm sorry, can I ask you one more question, please?
I think.
Sorry.
Okay. Can you go ahead?
Can I ask one more question? Like,
Yeah,
after when presenting your case study, what if you don't have a result, like a final result, like an end result? Like, okay, what was the product able to achieve? You get what was the result after you designed this product? What if you don't have that? Like, probably just designer, you don't yet get the result. How do you include it or what?
Yeah, so like I said, do your case studies maybe a week or a month after the product has launched, because some designers are eager to have something in their portfolio, so they just go ahead and put it up there. So I think one of the questions you'd ask is, if I'm a newbie and I just did a personal project, I don't have a result for it, so what do I do? So it's not compulsory, and it's not like a necessity, but it just spices up the entire flow for the viewer to see it at the end and be like, man, we really need this guy in our team. You understand? He has value to bring. He's not only interested about just putting the design out there, but he's interested about the traction that product makes after his whole job is done. So they've paid you off, but you're still interested in the traction, so you included it. So I'll be interested to employ you. Trust me, if I was an employer, I would be interested to employ you, because I believe I would have this conviction that this person is not about just the money, but really wants the products to shine, to grow. Tomorrow I want to be proud that there's a product I created for a company in so country, and it's doing amazing. It's part of the Fortune 500 companies. So if you don't know what the Fortune 500 is, like the top 500 companies in the world. So that is something I would really love to see in the future. So it's not compulsory, like I said, but if you can wait, patience is key. I know the dog that eats the fattest bone don't die, but yeah, you just have to exercise some patience. So that's it, man.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, all right. So thank you very much for coming up to ask your question, and thank you very much, Davio, for your answer. Currently we have 4 people raising their hands. So I would like to close off um, comment section. So after these 4 people, we're not accepting questions again. Sorry. So the next person is Ajibade Olatunde. So can you please go ahead and ask a question? And please keep it kind of quick because we are on the timeline. Thank you very much.
Okay, good evening. My name is Olatunde. So I wanted to ask, I've heard of Notion being a place where you can design your portfolios, and then I've heard of Behance. I initially asked a question before you mentioned the WordPress Webflow. But WordPress Webflow, Adobe Portfolio, Flickr, Pixpar, Behance, Notion, which one would you recommend for a new UX designer who has maybe little or no knowledge regards to coding at all?
It's very simple. Behance. So I recommend you use Behance. I won't recommend you use Dribble because you need a subscription, and we understand that we're Nigerians. Most times we don't have that much money to pay for subscription, so you can only post like a screen on Dribble. But on Behance, you can post as many screens as you want. So I would always recommend Behance for anyone.
Okay. Over Notion?
Not you can have it on both. You can actually have it on both. So yeah, that works. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. That's all.
You're welcome.
Okay. Thank you very much, Olatunde. That was a nice one. Okay, so the next person is Desmond Chupudi. So please, can you come on and ask your question? Thank you. Hey, Desmond. Good evening. Can you unmute your mic and ask your question, please? Thank you.
Hello, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. My question is for beginners. I know you need a portfolio to be able to send in or to land a job. So how do you create a portfolio as a beginner when you've never worked on any live projects?
Okay, Desmond, thank you for that question. It's a very, very important one, which most persons face. So this is very, very easy something. So one thing I advise is you need to go through a learning phase. Most of us are self-taught, so we utilize places like YouTube and the rest of them. But if you can, take the Google Coursera course. I think Pixels has a course as well. So you can take this course, and during the learning phase, you see yourself creating, you definitely would practice. So you can use your practice to work on a case study and include that in your portfolio. That's just a very easy way for you to get something in your portfolio. Another way is for you to apply for internship. I know these days now, internship is more like someone having a portfolio, but it's not supposed to be so. So there are some companies that are taking people on internship, and they're taking people based on you don't have a portfolio, you're coming to learn. So in that learning phase, while you're working there, you can work on certain things. But one of the best ways to get a portfolio is taking on personal projects. You're going to learn a thing. So these are the kind of projects you can take. You can redesign a platform. So I'm going to give you cheat codes. You can go and redesign AliExpress. So AliExpress has a very bad user experience, and I've shopped with them recently. So you can check them out and propose something. Just redesign, go through the processes. Don't just start designing, go through the processes of a case study, the personnel, go ask questions, make more research, visit other platforms, and then drop your case study. And then when you're done, upload that on your portfolio, man. You can upload that on your portfolio. You can even change the name at the end. If they tell you, oh, don't use our AliExpress, you can just change the logo and it's some other brand. They are not the only ones with the red color as their branding there. So that is one way you can get something. You can take on personal projects. Maybe you have like a brand of yours that you've been thinking about. It's an idea, and you feel like, man, if we have this kind of solution in Nigeria, it's going to change things. Do that. If you can register the brand, register it for the future, and then just work on it, man, and include that in your portfolio. So I hope this helps you, man. That would be it.
All right, thank you, Desmond, for asking a very important question. So I'll go on to the next person. Jude Uche, can you please come on mute your mic and ask a question? Thank you. Hi, good evening, Jude. Hello, Jude. Can you hear me? Okay, so I'll jump to the next person while Jude figures out his mic issue. Okay. Sheunia, sorry if I didn't get that right.
Hello.
Are they doing?
Can you hear me?
Sorry. You. Okay. Okay. Yeah, we can hear you now.
Oh, sorry about
Yeah,
that.
please go ahead. Good
Yeah, good evening. So I was saying that thank you very much, Davio White, for the presentation. I really appreciate. Desmond actually asked the question I was about to ask about being a newbie and having a portfolio. Thank you for the answer. So I have another question, which is what's the difference between CV and resume? Because you said we're going to be including a resume in our portfolio, if I am not wrong. So
Okay, yeah, I'll just take it on. Yeah, you're welcome. You said thank you, so you're welcome. CV and resume are the same thing, so don't get confused. The CV is just CV is what collects your data, tells the person more about you, your profile, your biography, your experience, where you've worked. When they talk about experience, they're basically talking about where you've worked before, was your role there, what year was that, and some other things like courses you've taken, and like your skill generally, what tools do you use. And that's basically what CV and resume is. They are the same thing. Yeah, so some companies like to call it resume, some companies call it CV, but they are the same thing.
okay, thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Jude. Thank you, Davio, again. I just want to thank you for like answering questions with patience and breaking it down. You're really great. I guess the last person, Adedoyin, can you please unmute your mic and ask your question so we can round up this session?
Hey, so am I audible enough?
Yes, I can hear you. Please go on.
Hello.
Yes, I can hear you. I can
All
hear
right.
you.
Okay. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Pegdel and Davio, for the meeting. I just have two questions. The first one is, how long should the portfolio be? Like, how long? Should it be extremely lengthy, especially when it comes to case studies, or should it be short? Looking at how recruiters just glance through portfolios nowadays, how long should it be? Then the other one is, what if, okay, like me now, my best projects are probably maybe website redesigns or web apps, but maybe not so my best projects. I don't have mobile designs as one of my best projects. I just have websites and web apps. So is it okay to put it leaving out mobile designs from my portfolio? Okay.
Yeah, bro. Yes. I'll take the last to the first. So you can, whatever project you worked on, yeah, just include that. If it was just the web design, include that. If it was just the mobile app, include that as a case study, yeah, because that was what you were paid to do, or that was the side project you took. How long should it be? There's no actual calculation to how long it should be, but you just have to go through the processes. So product case studies have a process. So by the time you're done with, so I'm just going to give you a small process. So you have to describe the problem, and then after the problem, you need to talk more about the user research. So you need to do more research. more user research. You need to drop a user personnel. You need to do some user interviews, show that. You need to do some user flow, empathy mapping, wireframing, and then the visual design proper. So there are some little things people add in between, like their ideations, those sketches, the low fidelity that has to do with the visuals. So you just have to break down. Also, some persons like to break down the features of a particular app. So these are some of the things that you would include in your product design case study that would make it either long or short. So it depends also on the copyright. So some people's copyright can be like Augustine's message. They are slightly different, but oftentimes can be used in the same context. So that can just be like a sentence, very short. Some people's own can be like as long as possible. So it depends on you. It depends solely on you whether you want it to be long or you want it to be brief. Yeah, that'll be it, man.
Okay, thank you very much for your question. Also, just a very quick one from the comment section. Somebody asked you, Davio, can you please drop a link to your Behance and your LinkedIn account? So, just for everybody that's on this session, they would like to follow you, connect with you, and see.
Yeah, I'll drop a
Okay.
link to my Behance at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah. So we can
It's also possible to drop your LinkedIn so they maybe people can connect with you. Don't know if that's possible.
yes, sure. I'll do that as well.
Okay. So I guess after you do that, we'll be moving on to the session where you show us a demo of like a portfolio, I guess.
Yeah, so I just dropped a link to my Behance.
Okay.
That's like a recent project I worked on, and yeah, and I just dropped the link to my LinkedIn.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. So
That's
to continue, yes, to continue this session,
all right.
I'll be
So
about Mr. Anayo. So he will take over from there. Thank you.
Right.
okay, so
Yeah,
can I continue with the portfolio?
Yeah, you can please go ahead.
Okay, you wanted to say something. Please go ahead before I start.
No, just go on, please. Just go on.
All right, okay. Okay. Please, I would be turning on my mic now. Just let me know if you can hear me, and so I can proceed. Okay. Please, if you can hear me, just drop a message in the message box so that I can proceed. Awesome, thank you. All right, so I'm going to stop. I'm going to take you into this and share the stuff instead. All right, so I created this design. I created it today actually because I didn't have like much time during the week. So without wasting much of the time, I'm going to be using this design to create a portfolio. So we're going to begin. So the first thing I like to do, if this was my portfolio, because I don't actually have like a very standard portfolio at the moment. So I'm going to start with my name. Hey, Davio White. Sorry, I didn't prepare this text. So I'm going to change my font. I'm using Roboto, and I'm going to place this at about, let's do 64. First off, you need to get out your grid. So I'm using a 12-point grid and a margin of 130 in case you need that information. So with this, I'm just going to put something over here. Don't worry, this will be very fast. Okay, so have some color styles over here, so I just auto layout this and just bring them down a bit. So let's go. So first off, I'll still reduce the size of this about close to 40 and make this semi-bold. This is the first flow before you get into the portfolio proper. So I'll just shift it a bit to the side. And this is going to contain your biography. So you'd want to let them know. I'm doing this first stage in case you want to have like a portfolio. You want to have like a portfolio website. So you definitely would need something like this. All right. Let's break this down a bit more. Let's put it at 12 so that I can 13. Yeah. Okay. So take it back to so this can be your biography, whatever you want to put in there. And then we can now say some of my projects. I like to spice things up, so I'll say see my projects. Make this tabs up and then I will extend this frame some more. So about there. You definitely would want to include an image of you. So this part can carry that. So we have something like this. Um, 20. Okay.
Davio, we can't hear you. I don't know if you're still speaking. Hello? Yeah. All right, so see my project. Going to divide this into 6. Yeah. So I'm using 6-point grids side by side. So we're going to have something like this. I'm going to have to move this text in. So you know what? Move this over here. Let's say
Okay, sorry guys. So I wasn't speaking. So sorry. I thought you guys were just watching. All right, so I'm just going to carry you along with this so that you understand what I'm doing. So this is the first flow where you get to showcase your projects, like the 5 projects that you've done. So I'm keeping mine at 4 to keep like a balance between it, between my layouts. This part is the footer. So I'll just make this black. All right. So this is more like wireframing, where you get to wireframe what you're working on. Yeah. So not so much of a hurdle for you. So after the wireframe, there's you still have to, let me pin this down so that as I scroll down, Giles follows me. Okay. Cool. All right. So I'm just going to bring this to, I'm going to bring it to hi-fi shortly. I want to start splashing colors in here to give it more like a character. So this is just a simple layout in case you have an interest in building yours. This should give you like an insight to what is expected to be on the landing page, where the client is going to see what before the client gets into like your case studies proper, because the next screen we're going to now is like the case study. So over here I have like my biography and then my image. I was trying to look for an image before I saw Toby's message. So I'll go into my file and get out my image. So I'll be using my own image for that part. Yeah, I don't know I went. Okay. Okay. Let's move it out. Okay. I don't know where that went, so I'll just delete it. All right, so bring in the image again. Okay, this time it's back. So this background is going to serve as, I will just spin. I'm spinning with Shift H. So if you don't know Figma's shortcut, I'm going to post it immediately after this section. Yeah, so I have this, going to clip it with the background shortly, but let me just close it a bit. All right, so I don't need the layout again. I'll just hide it for now and just start splashing colors where I think I need colors. All right, so I have this and my image will be here. I just zoom this. Yeah. So this is how you can go about copying your image. And then I have something more like, I'm drawing emphasis to my name. I'll be drawing some shapes in the background, like a circle shape. And then I'll be using the blur to create an effect. Let me choose yellow. Love that color. Layer blur.
I'm using the layer blur, and I'll increase it to about 800, and then reduce the opacity to about, let's say, 20. Yeah, something like it. And this one is going to be something like red. Yeah. Okay, I'll reduce this one to about 10 because you'd want people to definitely read what you have. I think I'm going to add something more like a square around this area that would carry all of this. So I'm going to add a square. It's going to be white. I'm going to round it a bit, about 63, 0. And then for the background color, I'm going to change the color of the background to not this color, not this color. I'd like to do a shade of blue. Let's see something like off-white. Yeah, so something like gray. I like that. Awesome. Okay, so move this. I'm going to clip this to this background shortly and duplicate the background, select these two items, and then click them. So they're inside of that frame. I'm going to plan auto layout to this and draw something more like a square that will carry it. It's going to be white. Yeah, so this is going to be white. So it's more like a holder for the top. Yeah, for the top. So I had to go into the file to be sure you can hear me. All right, so it's going to be like folder for the top. And I don't like this blue. I think I'm going to change it to a circle. But I don't like the blue though. All right, it's a circle, but let me see. Yep. Right, this blue, I'll change it to something like a lighter shade of blue. Let's do this and touch this and just give it a lighter shade. Something like that. Something that won't draw so much emphasis. Change this one back to black. All right, so in here, I'm going to use the plugin on Splash. I'm using an Unsplash plugin. I'll just like put things in these boxes so that it doesn't just look like it's plain or something. I'll fix this one shortly. I'm going to round this box. So I'm giving it a margin of 15. Let me give it 10. But when you're creating like a design system, you can determine what points in your radius you'd want to use. Let me do a UI design. I would find some, yeah. So I'll use this first one. I like it. I'm going to use something like a sketch. I like that. Amazing. Maybe show off like a workstation. That would be cool. And images actually for your cover really matters.
So whenever you're choosing like a cover image, try to like work on something really catchy that will make someone want to click. So I'd like to show. Let me see if I can. I'm sorry if I'm taking your time. Really sorry for doing this, taking your time. So if you don't have that time, you can probably just take a break. But if you do, just stick with us. Um, yeah. So yeah, I like to do this. Yes. And this is going to be, these are going to have like white frames. So I'm going to give that white, close this out, give this white. I was supposed to do that before duplicating, so just select both of them, white, close them out. I didn't select that, can you imagine? So I had to do it 4 times. Yeah, and need, you can still sprinkle like more of this. Some places, you can like add it to some places and just more or less reduce the opacity. This is, I don't have so much time, so I can't really do so much to the background, but this should give you an idea of something. I don't think I like the color in this background. It is 321. So 321. Let's see. You know what? I'll take this off. Let's leave our uncle to be there. Okay. I was supposed to reduce the size of this, but it's already past that time. No problem. So we have this, and this is like the first part people see. Let me see. Okay, so what colors can be used for a good portfolio? The video will be made. Okay. So this is like the first part people get to see once they get into your portfolio. These are like cards telling them the design. You can also add more. If I press Ctrl D, I can like add like, I'll just take Lauren Ejim text, just add it there, and add something like this to it. Okay. All right. And add like a description. It's also cool if you can like add a description to what you're doing. So you can like just add a description to it. Separate this. Just give it. I have like a text color over here, so something like gray. Select this, auto layout, and the proximity between them. And yeah, you're going to have something in this nature. Auto layout, 154, 120, 120. Okay, so I'm done with the first part. Had to do with portfolio. You know what? I'm going to duplicate this, and to get out something really cool, I'll just this.
Yeah, I'm going to actually leave it this way. Okay, take out the distractions of this downwards a bit. All right, so now we're going to do the case more like, it's going to be more like a case study, but not really a case study. So I'll duplicate this. Now I want to start adding some really cool stuff. So first off, at the top, you'd like to, I'll get rid of this. I don't need it anymore. So at the top here, you would like to add like the product design, what you've more or less created for this product. So I'm going to grab these three screens. I didn't grab the second one. So I'm going to grab it, apply an auto layout to it, change the proximity to about 20. So I would be creating more like an effect, duplicate this, but I'll still use it again. So with this, I'm going to spin this about 30 degrees. So spin it, holding shift, I'm spinning it 15 degrees, 30 degrees. And I'm going to, sorry, I was supposed to get that first off. So bring it down, downwards, auto layout, 20. The grid I'm creating is 20. Then more or less just do this. Do this as well. And yeah, so I like it this way. And then flip it 30 degrees, 15, 30. Now I'm going to put it in this frame, and send this away. I don't need that. And then bring this in. Now, yes. So this is going to be this way. I'm going to use this as my frame. So change the color first. I duplicated it and I've cut it in there. And then you can position it the way you want to. Selecting this, I'm going to choose the green color as the background of my shape. Where are you, man? It's too long. Yeah. Oh, no wonder. Hmm. Wait. All right. That was really a big challenge at that point. I was wondering what was happening. So with this, I like to apply like an overlay. So I'll make that a green shade, and I'm going to break this, make it something somewhat dark. Apply an overlay to it. Can leave it at pass through and just reduce the color a bit. So you're doing this so that people can see the text on it. So I'm going to bring in my text now. There's an auto layout there, so it might be an issue for us. So we're going to fix that now. Right. So I'm going to title this. I have the title fresh food redesign. See if I have a message. Okay, cool. Fresh food redesign, and just going to take it up. I hope this doesn't just stop. So layout. Let me push it aside. I don't have that much time. All right, so fresh food redesign, and I have like a small description of what it is about. So we're going to just put this text. I'll centralize this text, centralize this, and we can now, I just have to click centralize and it will just do that for me. So we need more of this, this stuff a bit. Oh, you know what? I don't need this. I like my design to be seen. So I'll just apply an auto layout, and I'll make that white. Then the text would be something around black. I'll just make it black. All right. Let's do 20, 50 by 50. I'm using 50 by 50 for this. Curve it about 20. Let me reduce this to 70. This would be 28. That's fine. Center this. All right. And this is curved. Well, I would break this and make this 50. Make it 80. Apply a layer blur to, I wanted to apply that to the background, but no time. All right. Apply drop shadow instead. 60 by 80. And this is going to be 40. And then I'm going to change the color. I'm going to change the color to something dark and then reduce the opacity a bit. Okay. Let's make this green. This is going to be my gray text. All right. So after doing this, all I need to do next is, I think I would need this. Let it just be by the side for now. Yeah, for now. Delete. I don't need that. Okay. So sorry, guys. So at this point, I would turn on my grid and then I'll start laying out some text. So selecting both of these to bring it in here. Okay. I would call this the challenge. As the challenge I faced in this project. This would be 34 points. You know what? I'll bring this over to this side. And I would sort of copy it and paste again to make it a bit lengthy. Yeah, I like this way. Next up, I'm going to add like a frame over here. This frame is going to be more or less a video. So I have my icon up here that I've already kept before now. So my play icon is over here. I'm not going to do anything to this frame for now. I would leave it this way for now, and then all I need to do is increase this icon to about 45. Just center it here. Right. Change this to a color. Change it to the brand color. There will be no time for wireframes and all of those. So I'm going to just be adding their colors as I'm working. So close this out. Reduce this opacity to about 80, so it's a bit transparent. And you know what, let me just add an image. So on Splash, I'm going to add an image, UI design. I'm going to pick one of these images to feel like it's one of the design processes. Yeah, I won't dwell so much on it, so I'll just pick any one. I hope this one comes out better. I just saw your question. In here, I have like, I can't send you this Figma link. I'm so sorry. All right, so I have this, and I don't want this to be black, to be green. So don't drag so much attention to me. So the challenge, and I'm going to reduce this some more. Let's do 60. Yes, 60. This one, just increase the icon a bit. No, let's make that black. And then we're going to apply an overlay to this. So let me see how this looks. Okay, not bad. Right. And then up next, can now show some other things. Let's drag this downwards. So over here, you can show something more like let's have like, this is a challenge where you explain everything that's happening, and then over here you can have like rows or row, whatever the case may be. I'll duplicate this. I'll pretty much be using this across all the tasks. So this is obviously going to be smaller, so I'll leave it at this point. Bring that in. Rows. I'll break this. So we have 4, 4, 4. I'll break down. Next part, I would like to put is a teams. Then finally, I'll end it as tools. So the tools you use, Figma, XD, Sketch, whatever tool you use, you can list them out here. And then you can go furthermore to even state the problem. So I'll select this and just move it. You can still go ahead and just state the problem again. Full problem. And make it unique, brand problem. And yeah, take that out. And then you can start doing some more iterations. So at this point, I'm not going to do much of a user case study. So I'm just going to do more of a presentation that can aid you towards getting something really nice, explaining brand problem and then your solution. So let's have here like our solution. So let's assume you guys are a group. You can have brand problem and your solution and sorry, our problem solution. Right. And then at this point, I'm going to skip all the user personnels. I'm just going to, I think I have it somewhere. I'm just going to bring this in, just copy it, bring it into this, paste, and just, yeah. So at this junction, according to my Quibon brothers, you can now create all of this stuff. So you can, if you want to read more about it, and then you can create more of this stuff. And yes, so once you're done creating all of the user interviews and all of that, because that's going to take like this thing is going to take like a lot of time. So I'll just dive straight into the visuals. How I'm going to more or less show you the visuals. So I will just take this. I'm going to take this again and just bring it down here. Yeah, bring it down here and God will make a way where there seems to be no way. All right, so there's no way there. All right, so once you have this screen, I like to create something like grids, so you can more or less create grids. I'm using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then I would also move this aside 6 and move this downwards a bit, both of them. I like spacing. White space is very important, so select both of them and move them downwards again. Yep. And then you can now start adding things to this. So first off, at this point, I would like to add like the brand's logo. Copy that. Move this out. I don't need the notification bell that I created earlier on. So move this in. Certainly, I'm going to make this longer. So if you're wondering what I'm using to make it bigger in the same focal points, I'm using Alt, but you must first choose the scale tool, hold Alt, and then you can reduce and enlarge. So I'll do this. And then for the next part, I'm going to use like their image, something more like what I've done. Yeah, so bring this in down here. Then I'm just going to pick one. separate it and just move it in. So something like this. I'll use the move tool with holding control. I would make that smaller. So with that, I'm going to pick a color from this, and this would be something like green, but a lighter shade. Something, let me see how that looks. Nah, not that. So let's, you know what, let's go darker. And with that, we'd have to make this black white. White. Let's see that. Not bad. Okay. And then the next part, I'd like to just create something like a picture. Yeah, so something like an illustration of a garden. So farm arts. Let me see if I can find anyone. I wanted to do this live, so I didn't like download all of these things to keep. I just wanted you to understand that it is not that easy, but over time, yeah, sure, it will get easy. So just going to find something simple and dark here. I like this. Yes, with this, I'm going to create a shape on it. Yes, I like this. I'm going to, and I'm going to make the down part 0, 0. Change this into a sort of a stroke, a white stroke. Close out the fill, increase the stroke. I think 2 is fine. There's a white stuff here, so I'll go into the edit objects and I'm going to delete that. But if I delete this, it's going to delete so many other things. So I will go use the pen tool and just select close to it. Come back with the pen tool. No, that's not what I want to do. Pen tool, select somewhere here. And delete this, delete this. Amazing. So I have that clean. I'll just drag this into it. Like, yeah. More like a visual for the app. So I'm just going to make it all white. Just make it all white. Yeah, cool. And so to make this better, I'm going to add like text. That's why I have like those spacing. So I'm going to like, this is almost the background color. What's in the, oh, background is not white. So the background should be white. Yeah. So I'm going to add something more like text over here. So I'm explaining, we're assuming like these are different screens. So you add like text, just explaining what you can. And that is what I'm going to do over here. Just putting in 1 or 2 texts. But just briefly, you can say this is like their logo. This was what happened. This is like a different thing altogether. Like let's say, for instance, a feature. Yeah, so you can do that. I'll duplicate the text, add more to this other side. Perfect. Yeah, so it has like that. So you know what? I would send this downwards a bit to create some free flow between the text. And then you can go ahead to explain more things about your, okay, so when the visuals, I'll bring in my wireframes. 1, wireframe 2, wireframe 3, copy it, and paste. macro layout, 20 proximity, and I pretty much want to show my wireframes and yeah, so I'm going to draw shape somewhere around here. I'll still fill up the screen just like the other one, send it upward a bit. Yeah, so you can decide to calculate your own in a way that is suitable for you. For me, this is how I pretty much do it. Okay, so I have like my wireframes. I'm going to explain it at the top. That's why I'm more or less creating this way. Let me see if I have any message. Okay. All right, so I'll be wrapping up shortly, just around here. So I'll just drag this downwards a bit. I think this will be wireframes. Wireframes. Okay. I think I'm going to stop here because we're supposed to wrap up at 9. I'm really sorry, guys. So this is pretty much what I'm going to do. Let me see. I have this. This will be the final screen. I just put it over here and just click that. Okay. I'm done.
All right. Thank you so much, Davio, for the insightful section. So I think our time is fast spent, and it's been a very, very wonderful session with you guys. And thank you guys for staying up on the call. So usually what we do at Pexels is that I believe you can hear me. We usually have this group photograph. So I would like you guys to turn your camera. I know it's kind of late in Nigeria this time around, and I know many people will be out of power, but I mean, we're tech bros right here. We always have alternative source of power, and you know how things go. So yeah, so this will be a very good time for you to turn on your camera, and let's just take a live selfie. Why my picture not show? Okay, great. So let's take a live picture. Let me just do my configuration properly so I can see everybody. All right, let's go. Everybody say cheese.
Cheese.
That's cute.
Cheese.
Let's take one more.
Cheese.
Okay, so this time around, you're going to do your very weird face. I don't know. Can do a very weird face, So everybody, let's go. Want to go do your weird face? Okay. I think that's all for today. So thank you so much, guys, for joining up the call. Thank you so much,
Please,
Davio.
can I ask a question before you end the call? It's not going
It's
to
already,
take
the
any.
time is already. I don't want to extend the time. This is 9 p.m. Nigerian time. So I'm sorry we'll not be able to take more calls because I mean questions will definitely keep bursting questions. But definitely you can reach out to Davio on his personal profile on LinkedIn. Davio, I'm sure he has dropped the link to his personal profile and things like that. So you can just reach out to him directly on LinkedIn as well as Twitter. I'm definitely sure he's going to be able to reply your question from there. I'm so sorry, but I don't want this to extend more than this time around. So thank you so much guys for joining up. So usually we Sundays are for EMA sessions on Pexels. You can always join our EMA session on Sundays and follow us on Twitter at PERXELS. And also we do have Twitter spaces on Wednesdays where we get to talk about interesting topics that affect you as a design career, affect you as a designer, right? And also we have a design school that provides premium design education to anybody that wants to learn design or get started in design. And we have a very big community of designers that where we get to learn from ourselves. So yeah, the recording will be made available to everyone by email tomorrow, so you don't need to fret. Everything's going to be recorded so you can practice your stuff. So thank you very much, guys. My name is Anayobia Julu, and see
Thanks so much.
you next week. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Okay. Faithful.
My boss, Alpha.